The Ourstorian coordinates documentation, archiving, and the history of KP by maintaining all records, including but not limited to photos, videos, and documents. This officer films and or takes pictures of all KP events, including GBMs and retreats. The Ourstorian is responsible for Ourstorian coordinate topics of KP GBMs. This officer creates an end-of-the-year scrapbook photo album. Archives all media and documents are due by the following school year. This officer is not required to head media-related committees of events such as Pakasama, High School Conference, and TCC. The Ourstorian coordinates the Ourstorian Gala with an alumni liaison, which only applies to every 5th anniversary year. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Adrian Nguyen. I am a second year in Marshall College, and my major right now is structural engineering.
Why are you running for this?
I am running for this position because, as you can see, like over the past weeks, I've been trying to be an active member. So I feel like I want to make an actual impact on KP by running for this position. That's it.
Any questions?
Zara?
As Ourstorian, it is your responsibility to maintain the KP archives. How will you effectively collect and organize our archives?
I guess being very organized in what I do will help, and also having very good time management would help too. So you said, how can I be organized in it?
Like, what are some of your ideas of maintaining our archives?
Oh, maintaining?
And
Like-
collecting,
Oh, like keeping the photos and videos organized?
as well as programs throughout the entire year.
I mean, I could like put it on my computer, I guess, and keep it organized. Like, I don't know what you mean. Like, how could it be
So,
organized?
as Ourstorian, our archives, each program needs to have a post-program report, making sure what happened during that program and how the program went, so that for future board members to understand what programs went well, how they went well, what could be improved, and things like that. So how will you be archiving these events and keeping it organized?
Okay, well, I mean, I could definitely take a lot of pictures and videos, and also be asking people questions and actually kind of like surveying them. So I should actually probably like give out them like a survey and see how the event went. And I also could be like talking to each person individually. Like I know that my duties aren't restricted to just taking pictures, but actually interacting with the people and seeing how they feel about it. Yeah.
As Ourstorian, how do you intend to fairly archive the events of each pillar?
Of each pillar.
Pillar, yeah.
How will I be able to archive each pillar?
Yes. As Ourstorian, how do you intend to fairly archive the events of each of the 5 pillars?
Okay, I understand the pillars are political, education, or I mean academic, I'm sorry. Political, academic, cultural, social, political, academic, cultural, and environment. So how am I gonna successfully archive each one
Fairly.
fairly? What do you mean by fairly?
Well, sometimes other events by like sometimes it's usually just like the social pillars that are like attended by people, and some of the other pillars have lower attendance than say the social or cultural. So how do you intend to fairly archive those despite the fact that some have lower attendance and very targeted groups?
I mean, I can't really control the attendance. So, I mean, I don't really get the question.
Explain it again? I don't know.
Would you like an example?
Yeah. Okay.
So like say for instance, on any given day, KP might have 2 or 3 events. And depending on the event type, like a tanghalian or a workshop on utilization or maybe even
Colonial mentality.
yeah. or like a GBM, like that could all happen in one day. Like I think you'd spread yourself too thin if you went to all of them. So how would you ensure that there is like physical documentation of like these events actually happening?
What do you mean?
As in to archive, right? To make sure that these events are well documented.
So like you're saying like these 2 events are having like different attendances, right?
Yeah, well no, like these things are happening at different times and you're not necessarily going to be at every single one. But how do you still intend to, yeah, exactly. How do you still intend to make
So
sure they're all fairly documented?
I mean,
I'm trying to get to you. Go ahead, take the one.
how would I fairly?
Yeah, like how would you make sure that at least the events are documented well?
I'm still confused about this.
Okay.
Like I'm really confused about that.
That's fine. Did you want to just like...
Okay, so as Ourstorian, what we mean by archiving is you not only take pictures or videos, but you also take down what event was happening one day, what was it about, who's doing the program, what was the turnout, any post-results, which means any good outcomes and any outcomes that need to be changed with the program. So that for future references on the next board, they can understand what programs happened at what time and how each program went and turned out and how many people each program had.
So I have to explain why, like,
So
which events became like low turnouts and stuff.
not necessarily. You just archiving is making sure all programs are in the database. And if you have 3 different programs happening in the same day, and we understand that you have classes or work, for example, you may not necessarily be in each program. How will you still maintain your job as an art historian to be able to collect all the information you need to maintain our archive? Is that clear?
Yeah, so I can't make every event.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, I mean, I can't be at every event, so I would just try to like prioritize, and like, no, not prioritize, but like actually, I would try to pick the event, like, which is most important to go to, and the ones that I can't make, I'll try to learn about it more and talk to other people about it, so I could document that too.
So part of the question is, how will you fairly do it? Meaning, how will you judge whether each event is more important or not? Right? Is that the question, Julie?
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna try to learn like what the event is about, right? Like I'm not totally gonna ignore like the other events that are happening. So I think I definitely have to have the awareness of what each event is about. Yeah.
Joanna? Is that... Okay. So next question, Rachel.
Keeping board can be a lot of work and time consuming. How do you handle stress and time management?
How do I handle stress? I would like to say that I need to be very calm in what I do, and I can't be very frantic. So I'd say a lot of it would be to be organized and to have good time management, and also need to prioritize. So like I need to get my schoolwork done first, and then do other events. So like I'd say like make a list of what to do.
3 questions. Vera.
As Ourstorian, it is essential to be present to keep events for archiving reasons. What are other commitments do you have, and how would you prioritize your commitments to board as well as your other activities?
Well, honestly, I'm not in that many clubs, and I make it a priority to make KP. Sorry. I really want to be dedicated to KP. So I really believe in the cores that you guys believe in. So I really want to like dedicate myself to KP.
Okay. Next question. No other questions? So this one's from Paolo. What other characteristics do you have that you feel will benefit you in this position?
Well, I believe that to be an Ourstorian, you have to be both professional and both have like a social side to it. Because having a professional side will get stuff done, and having like a fun side will build chemistry, which I believe board should have. I believe that as a team that we get along together, then it would be more functional, and also to the board members, because I know that I'm going to be walking around, going to different members, and actually taking pictures of them. So I want them to be comfortable with me too, to be willing to take pictures. But
And are you okay taking in more questions?
yeah.
More questions. Did Rachel have any first?
Mine was, what kind of camera like, do you plan to
Pictures.
Good lord.
and where do you plan to upload these pictures?
Well, I have a Canon DSLR. EOS. And where do I plan on putting it?
Yeah,
Uploading? Just like social networks, so like Facebook, I said. Any more questions?
Nico.
Nico.
How do you plan on? What do you? How do I say this? How do you plan on being a part of KP other than the responsibilities within your position in the KP Constitution?
How do I plan on being more active? Like,
Yeah, like what do you hope to achieve from this year, or like how are you gonna benefit KP in addition to the responsibilities that you have in the KP Constitution?
Well, I believe as an Ourstorian, I'm not actually limited to just my duties. So I believe that I go beyond my duties to helping like board members. So if you guys need any more help, I could also help that. And I'm also going to be more active, I guess. Like I want to be in more I want to join more events, I guess, in KP.
Any more questions? Tony.
Wait, how do you formulate this question? I guess simply like, what does it mean to be Ourstorian to you, and why do you think the title of the position is called Ourstorian?
Okay. Well, Ourstorian. I can see two words in there. I see our story. So, am I right? So what does it mean to be an Ourstorian? I believe that our entire school year is like a book. So, I mean, like, I think it's important to make it seem like a book. So a book needs pictures, needs words. So I need to document all of those. So other people in the future can pick up that book and see what we did.
Knowing that this is like KP is like was made by and for Filipinos or Filipinos, How do you intend to insert yourself into a space as an ally, and what does that allyship mean to you? Sorry, I know that was a mouthful.
Say slower.
Slow down.
Oh, okay. Seeing as KP was made by and for Filipinos, how do you intend to insert yourself into the space as an ally?
As an ally, like as a friend.
Yeah, like as an ally.
Well, as you guys know, I'm not Filipino, I'm Vietnamese. So, how do I intend on being an ally? Just, being open to all of you guys and, yeah, just being open to you guys and not being like really discriminating.
Okay.
Any questions?
So as in general, as being a board member, what do you hope to get out from your experience from KP board?
I definitely want to see us by the end of the year to make a difference in each KP member's experience. So I want to at the end of the year talk to each KP member and say oh, what did you think of the KP experience? And I want all of them to have a positive experience.
Anyone else? It's done.